With a bang, 27 points against Houston last Thursday. It's a new century. Will it be the same old Elamine? Sacred Heart hopes not. An unusually warm start to a new year in downtown Hartford, Connecticut, as the defending national champions, the Huskies of Connecticut, ranked number 2 in the nation, take on a first-time Division I team, the Pioneers of Sacred Heart. We welcome all of you inside the Civic Center here in Hartford tonight. I'm John Sanders. Our color analyst is Ron Perry, and most of the players for Connecticut are well known. They're basically veterans. So how do you integrate new players? We'll just take a look at Tony Robertson. His minutes are going up.
Yeah, the freshman is doing a great job so far for the Huskies, particularly of late, coming off the bench and providing a spark for the Huskies, shooting the ball well from three-point land. He's at 47+% for three-point land. He's also quick, able to penetrate to the goal, so he's providing some instant offense, and his confidence is going up with each game. If you look at his last 5 games, he's in double figures in 4 of those 5 games. He had 15 against Arizona, 22 against Fairfield, better than 12 a game in the last 4, under 4 in the first 5. Call it confidence. He's getting a feel for the system, and he's producing for the Huskies.
Talk about producing. The Huskies are producing as well. They lost their first game of the season to Iowa, looking tonight for win number 10 in a row. But there will be a change in the starting lineup for Jim Calhoun and the Huskies of UConn. Ajo Deng makes his first collegiate start. We've got Big East basketball coming up from Hartford. We're in Hartford, Connecticut. This is the 3rd of 9 games that the Huskies will play here, in addition to their on-campus facility in Stores and Sacred Heart. Some outstanding years in the 80s in Division II, making the move to Division I for this season. There's the starting lineup. You look at it, the 6'7" junior, Marius Kovalukas, one of the leading scorers at 13.9 points a game. He's playing their second consecutive Big East team. The loss to St. John's. They by 22 seasons at the helm at Sacred Heart. We mentioned 7 times in the 80s, took his team to the NCAA Division II tournament. Now for the Huskies of Connecticut, we've already touched on it. Deng will make his first career start. The sophomore from Sudan, out of St. Thomas More, for Jim Calhoun, who just keeps winning and winning and winning here. His 14th season here, 563 victories in his career, a 28-year career, because he had 14 outstanding career years at Northeastern.
He really did. Over 500 victories at the 2 schools, only Division I coach to boast that record. So he's done a great job here at UConn.
Will Bush is our referee. Jim Luchansky and Olandis Poole are the umpires. We're underway. Elamine off the tip from Bosco. Immediately the Huskies go to work. They are on their feet here at the Civic Center inside the Bosco. Down the lane he comes, lost it out of bounds. And it'll be Sacred Heart basketball.
I think Will Bush is on the call there. I think that ball went off of a Sacred Heart player, and that is in fact the call. Bosco lost it, but it deflected off a Sacred Heart player. Sacred Heart opening up in a 2-3 zone, trying to get the inside rebounding position and force the Huskies to shoot from the perimeter early.
So they will reset. Albert Morning with the basketball to Freeman, to Elamine. Tried to go to Deng, and a turnover. It's taken away by Devaren Johnson. Back come the Pioneers. The pull-up jumper from straight away is well short by Kovalukas. Tipped out of bounds, and it'll stay at this end. So Sacred Heart will have it. We're just underway in the first 30 seconds. There's Marius Kovalukas from Lithuania.
Coming off a terrific game, the loss against St. John's, game in which he poured in 24 points. He's the best long-range shooter for Sacred Heart, along with Johnson and Watson. They've got to come up big from the perimeter in this one for Sacred Heart to stay close to the very quick and talented Huskies.
And the Husky fans stay on their feet until the first basket is scored for UConn. Out in front, it is Kurt Reese. He wears 00. This is Johnson.
Man-to-man by the Huskies, and they play tough defense. They're holding opponents to 35.9% shooting this year. They don't give you many uncontested shots.
Here's Reese. Three-pointer, an air ball into the hands of Freeman on the weak side. Kevin starts back, finds Mooring. Albert, the junior from Preston, Maryland, to Freeman. Deng from the baseline, too strong. Rebound ripped out of there by Watson. Now Reese with penetration down the lane, shoots, it's blocked by Deng. Ajo Deng high to block the shot, and that's one of the things the Huskies do best is block shots.
This is awfully close to a goaltending call. Reese with the penetrating move, and Deng able to get that one, and the ruling is he gets it just before the ball reaches its peak. I tell you, it's very close. Maybe it was right at the peak, but if it was on its way down as it was just about to go, it would have been goaltending.
65 blocks, though, to the left hand. A little too strong that time by the big man, Tim Welch, inside. Still no score. We played almost a minute and a half. Here is Elamine. See if he can light the fuel.
Man-to-man this time by Sacred Heart. They're going to mix it up a little bit and try to put some rebounding guys inside and put some pressure on the ball.
Freeman inside. Voskuhl from the free throw line. Bending, good. Voskuhl gets the first basket. Jake, the senior from Katy, Texas, gets the Huskies on the board. We're just underway tonight in Hartford. Penetration, Kovalukas. Welch goes to Johnson. Out of bounds. Yes, he did. It was Watson cutting along the baseline, but Colin Watson was out of bounds, and it becomes UConn basketball. The one thing we kind of want to watch, and I'm sure that Coach Dave Bike will want to watch, are run spurts by the Huskies tonight.
Well, that's right. If they get into an up-tempo type of game with UConn will put the pressure on, and they can reel off a lot of points in a hurry. And Sacred Heart yet to hit from the floor.
Three won't go. Tip try, no good. Rebound by Reese. Back come the Pioneers on the run, and Kovalukas has it tapped away by Freeman.
Well, they tell us Sacred Heart won't really try to pass the ball around a lot. They're going to go right at the goal, and that quick shot, 0 for 5 now, could create this quicker tempo.
Over the top pass won't go. Voskuhl fighting for the rebound, and the foul is called underneath.
Elamine with that attempted alley-oop, and Voskuhl very active so far inside, able to draw the foul. UConn much bigger inside with Voskuhl and Deng out there. And Elamine always with the head up at the point guard slot, hoping to set up Freeman that time, but Voskuhl very much in the action.
Penetration along the baseline. The runner won't go. Tip try, no good. Another tip try, no good. They scramble underneath. Johnson can't control. Here is Mooring. To Voskuhl, baseline jumper. Voskuhl has both baskets so far tonight.
Now, Jake Voskuhl had scored in double figures before the Houston game, a game in which he only had a bucket. Double figures in the previous 2 games. First time in his career that he's done that. Off to a good start here tonight.
Here is Reese in the lane. Pushes it up and it rolls home. Reese able to roll that one off the iron. That one is tipped away by Johnson out of bounds, and it becomes a UConn basketball. There is Reese, not very big. The junior, he's from Hartford, Connecticut. What a way to go to Division I. You play St. John's in your previous game, and tonight the #2 team in the country, defending national champions.
Right into the action. Obviously get you ready for conference play, because this is the big time right here.
Deng for 3. Comes up short. Reese, a rebound on the weak side. Kicks it ahead to Johnson.
Boy, nice job by Reese to get in there and help out on the boards.
Johnson pulls up, misses the jumper. Deng had a piece of the rebound. That follow won't go. Finally knocked away inside. Kovalukas had a hand on it. Here is Khalid Elamine.
I was going to say, John, Sacred Heart hitting the boards pretty hard so far in this game, and certainly not playing tentatively, which you thought maybe they would coming into this one. They're going right at it.
The runner won't go. Comes up short. Rebound by Tim Welch. To Reese. They've got a 3-on-2. Kovalukas traveled. Couldn't control it. The pass a little bit high, and he could not get it under control.
Yeah, Reese has got to give him a better pass right here. He tries the no-look. How about a bounce pass between the 2 players and maybe give Kovalukas the ball in a position to go up strong inside?
Only a 4-2 game in the first 4 minutes. Into the bench is Elamine and Robertson checking into the lineup for the first time. Tony, the freshman from East Providence, Rhode Island.
UConn looks a little flat early in this one, John. They're kind of getting one shot. They're not getting the great second and third attempts, which I thought they would get in this game.
Robertson for 3. Got it.
Well, he's looking comfortable. We talked about him pre-game. His confidence is high, taking the good shots, and he's been knocking them down.
Sure has. That's 9 of 18 three-pointers, so 50% in three-pointers so far this season. Mooring steals it from Welch. Back come the Huskies, leading by 5. That three-pointer goes, so quickly a couple of three-pointers, and just like that, the lead grows to 8. It is 15:23 remaining in the opening half. A timeout is called by the Pioneers of Sacred Heart. A couple of three-pointers, and just like that, it's an 8-point edge. You're watching Big East basketball on ESPN+. Three-pointers by Robertson and Mooring have made it a 10-2 lead now for the second-ranked Huskies, and cold shooting so far for Dave Bike's team. They played tough. They're scrambling for the rebounds, but just not getting the job done as Edmund Saunders comes on for the first time tonight. Did not make the start. Saunders is in there now. And here comes some pressure from the Huskies. Freeman goes to the steal. Pulling up for the jumper. Kovalukas misses. Rebound by Welch. Puts it back up, no good. Freeman has the board.
Two good looks there by Sacred Heart, unable to cash in. And if you think about Sacred Heart in this game, they've got to limit turnovers, shoot it well, and hold their own on the boards. And so far, they're turning it over and not shooting real well.
Jump hook by Saunders off the bench. The junior from Waterbury, Connecticut, gets his first basket, and it's a 10-point lead for the second-ranked Huskies. The new ranking just out. Connecticut still trailing Stanford in those rankings, at least until the Cardinal loses a game.
Sacred Heart's got to be careful here. They're getting good looks. They've got to get a couple to drop. There's one right there to keep themselves in the game as Watson drains the free, John, because they get way down in this game with UConn's ability to pour it on. Could be big trouble.
Watson, a 32% three-point shooter, gets that one. Mooring feeds it down low. It's turned over. Welch pushes it ahead. This is Watson. Goes to the baseline for a jumper, and he drains that one. So 2 quick baskets now by Colin Watson. 10-point lead is down to 5.
Well, Watson, they talk about him as athleticism and shooting ability. He goes up and just drains both of those jumpers, looking smooth in the process.
Suleiman Wan and Khalid El Amin set to check into the lineup for the Huskies of Jim Calhoun. 13:54. We've got a TV timeout right now as the Huskies will go to their bench. 13:54 to play in the half. It's UConn by 5 over Sacred Heart. It's waiting for, Ronnie, the start of the regular Big East season, and it is about to get underway. The preliminaries are almost over. Syracuse, of course, so far is undefeated. Good start for these Huskies of Connecticut. Robertson comes down the lane and reaching in to pick up the foul. The first tonight on De'Aaron Johnson. Watson hitting those 2 baskets in a row, the 3 and the 2, has 5 of the 7. It's a 12-7 lead for the Huskies.
Really big baskets, too, just to get Sacred Heart going a bit offensively, make this a 5-point game, and keep them in it early, which is really crucial.
Saunders looks to El Amin in traffic at the foul line. Now penetrates. Tried to pass it underneath, and a foul called along the baseline.
Nice dish by El Amin. He's just really running the team so well and playing unselfishly. He could score even more points than he does, but always looking to see how he can thread the needle, penetrate, and this time with a nice pass inside, right around Welch. That ball got deflected as you see Juan pushed to the floor on the play.
And Kurt Reese from behind 0-0 picked up the foul. You saw how he kind of decoyed him that time, Ronnie. He got in traffic, backed away, then all of a sudden he turned and came right back down the middle.
Replacing Colin Watson.
For UConn in this game, I talked about Sacred Heart's keys. Play with intensity, a lot of depth in this game. Get everyone involved and execute. Oh, that's execution right there by the big guy.
Suleiman Wan with a follow on a slam dunk.
Boys, we've been playing well, John, off the bench this year.
Well, they've always had a good rotation of their big people in the middle, and he certainly has been added to it this year with the way he's played. From the side, it's Johnson with his first bucket. Deveron picking up his first 2 points of the night. Freeman dumps it into Saunders.
No question about it. Watson and Johnson are the go-to guys.
Robertson, a runner, short off the glass. Here's Juan again.
Suleiman has been very productive, John, when you look at his minutes this year. I mean, he goes into the game and really hits the backboards with authority.
Johnson from the corner, too strong. A rebound to Saunders. He traveled. He started to make a pass, and just as he did, Deveron Johnson stepped in front of Khalid El Amin, and he walked with it.
Juan is just all over the backboards with the nice stuff inside, and then goes at it again. And this is what Sacred Heart can't afford. Bigger front line for UConn. You've got to put a body on the big people. Juan goes right in there, does a great job to rebound, keep it high, and finish off.
Lucas Ledeca is in the lineup for the first time tonight, number 25 for Sacred Heart, and Mike Sandy is on the court as well, the first off the bench for the Pioneers. Lucas with some penetration, nice move, but he doesn't get the roll on the shot. The rebound goes to Saunders. Now it's Robertson. Reverses to Khalid Elamine. We approach the 12-minute mark. Elamine dumps it inside. Juan couldn't handle it, then it's blocked.
Got to be ready for that pass. He was surprised. Anytime Elamine penetrates, get your hands ready.
Reese for three. Rims out. Saunders the rebound. Pushes to Elamine. Lucas went for the steal. And Elamine could not control. So it's 11:49 remaining in the half. Right now the Huskies are leading it by a score of 16-9. Sacred Heart making them work so far. It's early here in the first half. You're watching Big East basketball with us tonight on ESPN+.
Second effort by UConn has really been effective as they start to dominate the backboards over the last couple of minutes. That's Juan with the offensive putback. As you see, UConn with the rebounding advantage, although Sacred Heart kind of hanging in there, John, just down by a couple there, but second chance points with Juan leading the way, 6-zip for UConn.
Only 25% shooting, though, for Sacred Heart so far, Ronnie. That's hurting them. They've had some good looks, haven't been able to get them to go.
And they're fortunate, John, just to be down really 7 points in this game. You've got to keep Watson involved. Tough man-to-man by the Huskies.
Reese with it, back to Ledeca. He'll shoot a three. That just skimmed the front of the iron. Back comes Elamine. Behind the back he goes, still with the ball. Always with his heads up. Here comes Freeman. Dishes in the corner to Mooring. He hits a tray. That's his second tonight.
Mooring just quietly gets it done at that two-guard spot for UConn. He steps over there, and with the crowd that Elamine draws, he tends to be a guy that gets good open looks, and he can fill them up.
On the perimeter, Mike Sandy with it. Trying to make a move on Mooring. Goes to the baseline. Lost control. Steps out of bounds. Well, if you want information on your favorite Big East team, you can go online at www.bigeast.org for all of the basketball and conference news from around the Big East. Jim Calhoun pacing the bench in front of his Huskies. What a job he has done. What a decade the 90s was for this basketball program, huh?
They've really dominated, you know, not only Big East play, but I mean nationally. Jim Calhoun has got this program with the elite programs in the country. He's done a great job. He's built a winner.
Bosco fights it up. Tip try goes. Beautifully done from behind that time off the bench. Doug Wren.
Now another one of the freshmen, and we really have seen Wren come on strong as well this year. And Jim Calhoun does a great job of blending the freshman in with the veteran. Wren, we've talked about Robertson. Cox has seen some minutes, so these guys are getting in there and doing a good job. And Justin Brown in the middle.
A 12-point lead right now for the Huskies, their biggest of the first half. Johnson got inside, lost the ball. Here comes Saunders. Reese is going to get the foul call, so we will have number 2 on Reese and a 2-shot foul coming up. We talked about the decade for the Huskies of Jim Calhoun, and there are some of the numbers. They're a little bit staggering. When you come to play them on their home court, either here or in Stores, you're probably going to be in trouble.
Forget about it. They've built up such a great home court advantage, whether it's at the Hartford Civic Center, which is where they're playing tonight, or at Gamble Pavilion. But 266 victories and 127 victories in the Big East. And check out the titles in the Big East Championships. It's been a dominant decade for the Huskies. No question about it.
Good start tonight for Mooring. He's got 7. Saunders will go to the bench. Ajo Deng checks back in. You mentioned Marcus Cox, another freshman from Bridgeport, Connecticut, is in there. So the man with the Band-Aid on his head leaves, and the guy with the Band-Aid on his chin comes on. And that's Cox.
Who said that basketball wasn't a contact sport? Hey, you know, it's a great opportunity, and again, this has been happening, you know, through the first 10 games this year to get some quality minutes for the younger players, weave them in, and then they can play when it's Big East League Conference play with some confidence. They're doing it.
Reese kicks it in the corner. The long-range shot too strong that time by Watson. An air ball that time on the rebound shot by Sandy. Here is Cox. Mooring dumps it inside to Wren. Goes underneath, shoots and scores. Wren with a basket.
The UConn just goes on these spurts, John. It's a close game, and suddenly it's a 16-point game. What had been 7 points, and the pressure is on again by the Huskies.
Tapped out of bounds, and it'll be Sacred Heart basketball. The Pioneers under Dave Bike. Their record 1-7, Ronnie, but you look early, they were very competitive. A couple of those losses were in double overtime.
Yeah, they've had some tough losses, which really hurts as you see Connecticut in the paint very effective. And Dave Bike has been at Sacred Heart, as we mentioned, for 22 years. The transition to Division I, a big one, and they're certainly playing a tough schedule early.
From the side, it's Kovalukas with a three-point basket.
It's a nice unselfish pass there by Watson. Give it to the open man. Even if it's a kick-out pass, Kovalukas can shoot that thing from three-point land.
Mooring with it. UConn's run is 13-5 over the last 4 minutes. Vasco, baseline shot. There's Dang with a follow. So right now, the Huskies beginning to take over, especially at the offensive glass.
They really are. There's too many big bodies out there with quickness and athleticism for UConn. And Sacred Heart, undermanned inside, has got to do a great job boxing out and hope to get some good bounces. And offensively, got to keep working against this tough man without turning it over, as they do right there.
Marius Kovalukas from Lithuania turns it over, so the junior will head to the defensive end. 8:39 to play first half. Deng getting his first collegiate start tonight will inbound. Marcus Cox. Cox is 6'4", a freshman. We've seen another freshman, Doug Wren, and Tony Robertson. All the freshmen seeing some early minutes tonight. Like you said, that's how you got to get the guys in the game. The veterans are going to be there. You know that. Freeman, Bosco, Elamine, Mooring, Edmund Saunders, those guys. But you've got to get the freshmen ready.
That's right. You've got to blend them in. And again, I think that's something that Jim Calhoun has masterfully done throughout his coaching career. He'll have the go-to guy, the Khalid Elamine. He works the center position on this team with three guys. As you see the shooting, again, Sacred Heart just shooting 25% so far from the field. So the young players getting some quality minutes. Oh, there's a turnover by UConn.
Cox went one step too far. We thank you for joining us tonight on the start of a brand new year here in Hartford, Connecticut. We're at the Civic Center. Sacred Heart and the second-ranked Huskies. I'm John Sanders along with Rod Perry. Glad you could join us. We're getting set for the start of the Big East regular season. And most of the teams, Ronnie, will be starting later this week. That includes the Huskies, who take on Notre Dame on the 5th. Right here, right?
Conference play. We'll be back for that one. Excited about it. And you've got to love it when conference play starts across the country. And we've seen some quality play so far this year.
Kovalukas misses a three. The rebound goes to Watson. 8 minutes to go in the half. Welch gets low and goes to the left hand and scores. First basket tonight for the 6'10 junior.
Tim Welch went to Worcester Academy, and nice strong move that time. Oh, and a good tip by him. He couldn't reach it, but he tipped it to his teammate for the fast break opportunity.
So Watson, who got that tip, goes inside. Kovalukas is fouled, and the basket will count.
I don't know how he got that thing off. He got hit pretty hard inside, but Kovalukas shows you he's got some strength in there. Well, he gets a bullet pass. I think Watson, yeah, just drills it in there, able to reel it in. And there's Dang with the foul, and Kovalukas, and you'll like to see this with the player. You get inside, just go up strong and try to finish, and he's able to do it. He's got a chance for a three-point play.
Amazingly, 12 minutes into the game, that's the first team foul on Connecticut tonight.
That is surprising when you consider, you know, the intense defense that they play.
The three-point play traditionally completed that time by Kovalukas, but right now it is the Huskies out in front by 10. (27-17). The biggest lead has been 16. Right now it's 10. Talk about a good start for Coach Dave Bike and his team early on. Very close in their early games. A couple of, as I mentioned, double overtime losses. However, in the last 4, they have struggled. They've also lost 3 players. It is the second semester, and 2 of them, and Dante Lloyd and Anthony Barrett, to academics, and another, one of their leading scorers, Will Hampton, has decided to transfer. So they lost 3 players, 2 of whom had been contributing quite a few minutes and points.
That's exactly right. A critical juncture. They were playing people tough and close early, disappointing losses, and now they find themselves in the stretch with some bigger losses and some key losses in terms of players. They got to really pull it together right now.
Elamine that time tried to go to Jake Bosco, could not connect. Huskies shooting 45%, Sacred Heart at 30%. And the turnovers just about even at this stage of the game. This is Welch outside. Looks to Watson. Shoots from long range. Too strong. Elamine the rebound. Looks long to Saunders. Lays it in.
Who says you can't make a fast break basket without dribbling the basketball? You just saw it with the great lead pass, and Saunders with the finish. No dribble involved.
At 6'8", running the court. Kovalukas misses a three. Reese at the foul line. Goes to Watson. They look inside to Welch. Back to Johnson. Almost lost it. Now shoots from the corner. Too strong. On the weak side. Tracked down and kept alive by a guy getting a lot of minutes tonight so far. Robertson.
Just one shot and you're done right now for Sacred Heart. It's mostly perimeter shots. They've got to find a way to penetrate and get the Huskies to commit a few fouls.
Bosco with a turnaround hook. Welch the rebound. Back comes Sacred Heart. They look long to Johnson. Saunders with the interception to Bosco. To Robertson. Penetrates down the lane. Shoots off the glass. Too strong. Follow goes. Skying for the rebound was Edmund Saunders. He's got 6.
Saunders looks ignited now. He comes in off the bench. He's running the floor. He's getting into the flow. He's a very exciting player when he hits the boards like that. Sacred Heart has got to find a way, John, to get Connecticut to commit a few fouls. They've only got, what, 1 team foul. UConn, it's all jump shots right now for the Pioneers.
And with only 11 players dressed for the game tonight for Sacred Heart, you think this UConn depth will also be a factor. Welch goes to the right hand this time. Robertson has the rebound. Looks to Elamine. He's got Freeman on the wing. Stop and go. Scoop and score.
Oh. Well, the thing about Elamine, he's so shifty with the basketball. He reads it, lowers the shoulder. And I tell you, that first step he's got and then the quick release, he seems to be able to score at will when he decides to go do it.
And just like that, back to a 16-point advantage. Welch outside, hands to Reese, trying to work off the screen, and shoots a 3. Got it. Doesn't shoot that many threes. That's only his second three-pointer of the season.
He felt it. He says, hey, I'm going to go ahead and do it right now. Our team needs one. But again, it's that perimeter shot. It's a tough way to try to live against the Huskies.
Bosco. And raging in front of his bench was Dave Bike, who thought Bosco pushed off and making the shot. Bosco has 3 field goals, 6 points.
Well, he did get animated. I think Dave Bike was close to getting one on that one. He really let his feelings be known on that play. He thought it was an offensive foul in Bosco.
Here is Johnson. Kovalukas, oh, he almost traveled. Shoots the 3, and he got that one. So Kovalukas with his second three-pointer. He's got 9 in the game to lead the scoring for Sacred Heart. They cut the lead to 12.
Kovalukas has got a nice shot from the perimeter. We mentioned he had 24 last game against St. John. Oh, rough foul.
Welch hammers Saunders. That is Welch's first foul tonight. He's a big one. 6'10", 285. It's a way to stop him right there.
Wow.
He just puts him to the deck.
Yeah, you could call that. You could call that one a flagrant foul because he's picked off by Bosco. Doesn't want to give Saunders the easy one, and really there's no attempt to go for the ball there. He just pulls the man down. And fortunately, you know, Saunders kind of gets himself and his feet under it, but that's how a player can get hurt.
Saunders averaging just under double figures for the season, has 7 so far tonight. Huskies have also been perfect at the free throw line. 3 out of 3. Neither team has missed a free throw as Elamine goes back to the bench along with Bosco.
One of the things you see too in this game, we mentioned John, Sacred Heart, some key players they've lost for academics and transferring, and you get to see UConn with their athletes and the depth that they've got. They're going to be so fresh in the second half, and Sacred Heart, the key players, are going to have to go a lot of minutes. They're going to wear down in this game.
So Decker with it, hands it back to Reese. Reese working on Robertson, who gets around the screen. Reese goes all the way to the baseline, then reverses the ball. Karen McFadden, number 54, inside for the first time. That one is blocked and goaltending is called. Credit Devin Johnson with his second field goal of the night.
Well, there was a near goaltend earlier in the game by Dang, but no question about this one. Saunders basically picks this one out of the cylinder area on its way down. No question about the goaltend.
And it brings us to a timeout with 3:49 remaining. We're in the first half, and it's the Huskies leading by a dozen. Huskies have raced out to the lead, and twice they had 16-point advantages. Right now it's a dozen, but let's watch the connection here between Elamine and Saunders.
Well, if you've got a point guard, if you're a young player watching this game, Elamine's got the head up at all times with the great full-court dish to Saunders, and then Robertson penetrating in there. But check it out, Saunders again. He comes off the bench tonight, and he's really done a real nice job on the backboards for UConn, running the floor. That's where Dave Bike wanted the offensive. And you know what, John? When you see the replay with Voskuhl, he might have a case. He came in pretty high with his elbows, able to finish the shot off, though.
Has 6 early points. Freeman, who has not scored tonight for Connecticut, gets it to Suleiman Wan. Wan being pressured by Laidaka. Tipped out of bounds. That's last by Taron McFadden, a transfer from Appalachian State to Sacred Heart. The Pioneers Division I this year for the first time. Great years in the 80s, including a national championship that they won. It was back in the 1985-86 season.
It's an exciting jump for them, and you know they had a lot of new players on scholarship, so they're right into it. And check it out, a lot of balance tonight by UConn.
Mooring buries the 3. He has 3 3-pointers and 11 in the game. It's 40-25.
John, when you're trying to scout UConn and defend them, who do you key in on? They get balance and scoring from so many different angles.
The Huskies shooting it well from outside. 4 out of 6 in 3-pointers so far. McFadden gets it down low along the baseline. Laidaka misses the shot. Back the other way comes Edmund Saunders. Did not start tonight. Has it knocked away twice and finally brought out of there by Kovalukas. Ahead of the pack, slamming it home is De'Aaron Johnson. He has got 6 points.
Nice look there. I had a feeling with Saunders dribbling something was going to go wrong, and at the end, one too many dribble as he lost it. Good break by Sacred Heart.
Robertson up and under, good, off the glass. Little scoop move by Robertson, and he's got 5.
John, you can see his confidence. You know, he knows when to take the jumper, and all of a sudden now he's really a scorer more than a jump shooter because excellent penetrating and finishing on that one.
And he can do a little of both. He'll run the point some. They'll set Elamine loose to chase along the baseline. Miss outside, rebound to Freeman. Gets it to Robertson. Back come the second-ranked Huskies. Robertson dances down the lane, has it stripped. Laidaka brings it out of there to Reese. They've got numbers, 3 on 2. Reese down the middle, behind the back. Kovalukas finishes off the break.
Nice job by Reese that time. We talked a lot about Elamine, but Reese draws the defense and makes a nice, nifty behind-the-back, left-handed bounce pass.
Elamine, by the way, is set to check back in for the Huskies. The college limited to just 1 field goal after that 27-point effort against Houston. Wan down the lane, spins and is fouled. McFadden picks up the foul. A reminder, our National Car Rental halftime report is coming up from Hartford. We'll check out the Big East Wire. We'll have the Volkswagen Big East leaders, all the stats and the highlights coming up at halftime. Here's that pass, Ronnie.
Like that left-handed job behind the back. You know, back when I played, John, if that kind of pass wasn't successful, you generally earned yourself a seat on the bench for getting a little too flashy. Today, you know, it's more commonplace to see that kind of pass, but I'll tell you, that was well done by Reese. He drew the defense and made the pass.
Reese will go to the bench. Colin Watson checks back in. Here goes the freshman Robertson to the bench as Elamine returns for UConn. The Huskies are leading 42-29. Wan misses both chances at the free throw line. He's been shooting very well from the line and missed 2 tonight. He was 14 of 19 until those 2 misses.
Reese just getting a rest there. That was not because of the pass, by the way. Oh, there's a nice kick.
And the quick foul, trying to get it back. Watson picks up the personal. And Big East tonight. Pittsburgh and St. John's, and the Johnnies are having their way in the first half. 40-14.
Oh.
Ouch.
That's very surprising. Pitt's been playing some good basketball early with Ricardo Greer and company, but the Johnnies, Mike Jarvis's club, really have it going in that one. That's a surprise.
If you want more information, you can log on to ESPN.com, part of the Go Network.
Another thing that UConn does a solid job at is the free throw shooting 68% as a team, and a lot of Jim Calhoun's teams, he tries to get them up over 70%. Mooring at 75% on the season, and Been very consistent shooting the basketball.
And 4 for 4 at the line tonight. He leads the scoring for the Huskies with 13 first-half points. So Mooring has provided a lot of the offense. It's 44-29 in the final 2 minutes. A minute 17 to be exact, remaining in the opening half. Kovalukas on the perimeter against Freeman. Kovalukas has had a good first half, 11 points. McFadden.
Nice catch.
Blocked. Knocked out of there by Saunders. Here is Elamine. They've got a 3-on-1. Elamine. Alley-oop. And Freeman at the other end.
Check it out with that looping pass. What timing. Elamine has a knack for it.
That gets them to their feet here in the Civic Center. The biggest lead of the first half, 46-29. He had been kind of quiet, but Freeman calling for it. He got it on the run.
And it wasn't that badly defended, but Freeman just went and got that thing and sent it down. Sacred Heart really could use one right here to keep themselves, you know, just respectable at halftime. They've played pretty tough. They don't want to let this become a 20-point game at halftime.
Johnson hanging, can't hit the shot. The ball is loose, picked up by Saunders to Elamine. He's got Freeman running again, and this one is through his hands out of bounds. A little too quick, a little too hard, with 26.7 to go.
Elamine right away said, you know, I know that's not the one I wanted to throw. That shovel pass, a quick one. I thought it might be another alley-oop. Jim Calhoun would have probably preferred to see him bring that thing back out and maybe work some clock.
46-29. The Huskies have never trailed. This is their biggest lead of the half. Turnovers are even at 9 apiece so far. Ledecka backs away. This is Watson. Misses the shot. Tracked down on the weak side by Elamine. He has it knocked away. At the buzzer, this one is no good. We have played the first half. It's 46-29. The Huskies behind some good shooting by Albert Mooring. He had 13 first half points. Khalid Elamine, the team's leading scorer, had only 2 points in the first half. But it is the #2 Huskies on the run and comfortably in front. We're getting ready for the National Car Rental halftime report coming right at you. Right after this, stay with us. We'll be back. At the halftime lead at 46-29. We'll have more coming up from Hartford after this. Start the second half. It's 46-29. Not much in the scoring department tonight for Elamine, but he came to the team's rescue in Houston on the 30th.
He did it in a big way, and let's face it, he can score a lot of points on this team, but he knows he's got to get everyone involved for them to be successful. As you see Freeman finishing right there, and he came up very big in this particular ball game from all angles, and I love it when he finishes those short runners, John. And he penetrates, he's able to finish, and he's also a guy, if you're on his team, you've got to have your hands ready. Khalid Elamine knows how to dish the ball. He had 27 points. He really took over. 4 assists, 5 steals, shot it real well. Elamine is definitely the man, the floor general for the UConn Huskies.
UConn Huskies tonight in front by 17 at the midway point in our contest, getting set to start Big East play. They'll be right back here on January 5th to take on Notre Dame, and Mooring is the leading scorer with 8. Saunders and Voskuhl. Saunders has 8. Voskuhl has 6. Saunders did not start the game tonight. Instead, it was Ajo Deng who did. For Sacred Heart, leading scorers, well, it's the guy that led them last game against St. John's. Kovalukas with 11. Johnson with 6. A couple of players have 5, including Reese. Reese is 00. Kovalukas is number 34. And again, they come to their feet. I tell you what, how popular is this team? They're playing Sacred Heart, a team they were heavily favored against, and this place is basically, as always, standing room only.
It's a bang-out crowd, and you talked about UConn and their intensity level. With this crowd, not hard to get up for the game, and when you look over and see Coach Jim Calhoun on the bench, also not difficult to maintain a high intensity level. It's become the UConn way. Important for Sacred Heart to start the second half, that they get themselves a little closer in this game and not allow UConn to just blow them out early in this second half.
Welch on the perimeter. The team's going with their original starting lineups. With one exception, Saunders starts the second half for the Huskies instead of Deng.
Man-to-man by the Huskies.
Inside, Welch on a drive, too strong. Voskuhl the rebound. Here comes Elamine, 3-on-3. Elamine penetrates, shoots, and scores.
Boy, he knows how to get in there and read the defense. Take what the defense gives you. And El-Amin is a guy that makes everyone around him better. And he's focused on one thing, he said it earlier, is to go for the championship again this year.
Well, look at his track record in his first 2 seasons and a third of the way through his 3rd season. You can't argue about what he's gotten done so far, can you?
You really can't, and he really has that will to win, John. I think he makes the other players believe and have that confidence as well.
Welch with a quick turnaround, and he gets it off the glass and good. Welch with just his 2nd field goal. He got it past Voskuhl that time. It's 48-31. Here comes El-Amin. Fade away, dump to Voskuhl. Misses the shot, got it back, left hand and good.
Cost him an assist on that one, but good job by Voskuhl to stay with it again. He could have shot the ball. Unselfish look to the big fella.
Always been a good rotation for the Huskies here at Connecticut. This year it is Voskuhl, Suleiman Wan, and also from time to time Justin Brown. Jim Calhoun is not on the bench right now. Kovalukas with a miss. The rebound by Saunders. Apparently some stomach problems for Jim Calhoun, and he's not on the bench right now. Here's Voskuhl inside. On Welch, has it knocked away. Jake wanted a foul called. Reese with a lead to Kovalukas. Saves it to Johnson, who scores.
It's a nice job there by Sacred Heart. And they continue to try to hang around in this game. 17-point deficit. They're playing man-to-man, and they're not a very deep team. They've lost some key players, as we've mentioned earlier in the ball game. One of them, one of their top scorers, Dante Lloyd, to academic problems, and they're playing tough in this game tonight, John.
Here comes El-Amin. He thought he was fouled. No call. Here's Reese. He's got Johnson with him. Trailing the play is Watson. Now Reese will reset. Dave Leto will take over. He is the associate head coach.
Yeah, he's done it before, and you know, not easy when Jim Calhoun is not out here. His stomach bothering him right now.
Mooring pull-up jumper short. Saunders underneath, off the glass short. Rebound by Watson.
One thing about Jim Calhoun when his presence is out here, John, is that intensity level stays very high when they look over to him. And Dave Leto right now taking charge for the Huskies.
Reese scooting down the lane, reverses to Johnson. And he draws a foul right on his head by Voskuhl. The first foul on Jake, and it's only the 2nd team foul the entire night against the Huskies.
And one of the things we said is you got to go inside to draw the foul, as you see Dave Leto, who's the associate head coach, and he's become more vocal here second half, up and at him, taking charge. And Dave's got an excellent presence and respect throughout the UConn basketball program as well. He's been Jim's longtime assistant here and also played for Jim Calhoun back in the Northeastern days.
Left for a while and then came back. He coached at Northeastern for a while, but he is back.
Zach's right. He left to become the head coach there and then came back to work with Jim again. So he's trying to just step in there right now and make sure the Huskies don't miss a beat. And they're continuing to play tough basketball out there in the second half.
Johnson in double figures now. With 10, here's El-Amin into the lane, pushes it up and in. He's starting to take over a little more offensively now, Ronnie.
I tell you, John, he just decides to make that hesitation move, lowers the shoulder, quick release, and no one's figured out how to stop that thing yet.
Reese looks to Welch. Again from Voskuhl, back to Reese. Three-pointer, and it nestles in the net. This guy had only 1 3-pointer on the season coming into tonight, and he's got 2 tonight.
Well, he's taking what the defense gives him, and he doesn't see any openings inside. He stepped out there and hit a couple. Both clubs man-to-man right now.
Saunders from the corner rattles out. Reese the rebound.
He does a nice job to go in and help out on the boards, John. Reese isn't very tall, but he's got a nose for the basketball.
Reese averaging just 3.5 points a game, already has 8 tonight. Sacred Heart with the ball, trailing 52-38. That's a 3, and it's too strong. Reese on the weak side, another rebound. Up and under, but it could not hang on. Watson had it, lost it, and Johnson gets it back.
Well, that pass was there, too. Good look by Reese. And right now, Sacred Heart getting a couple of loose basketballs.
Kovalukas started the move. Welch made the pass. And the turnover sends it back the other way with 15:26 to play in the game. The timeout. Right now it's the Huskies 52-38. You're watching Big East basketball with us tonight on ESPN+. Is 14, and Elamine taking a little more of an active role at the offensive end.
Well, he is. He's just reading it, and he sees the penetration. No one steps in. He finishes. If the gap had closed, you can bet he would have dished it. Could have shot this one, but he sees Voskuhl for the pretty easy inside shot, and Jake says, hey, I think I'm going to grab myself another offensive board before putting it down. This is the one I like, though, John. Stop and go, hesitation. That's vintage Elamine.
6 points, 4 of them in the second half for Elamine. Beats the pressure by Sacred Heart. This is Freeman. Kevin into the lane, jump stop, a line drive, and he gets it to go. 4 points for Freeman. UConn at 51% shooting for the night. 34% so far for Sacred Heart. We are 5 minutes into the second half. Connecticut has never trailed tonight. They started on a 12-2 run to begin the game.
Pace of this game has slowed down a little bit now to more of a half-court set. And that's more to Sacred Heart's liking. I think when you don't have the depth and the quickness and just the overall bench strength, try to take some time each time with your possession.
Kovalukas from the baseline. Had a good move to get around Freeman. That's 13 points for Marios Kovalukas.
It's a nice-looking player, John. He's quick, he's strong, and he's got a nice touch. But what a battle inside with Welch and Voskuhl.
Freeman again inside. Bending good. Freeman 2 in a row now.
Freeman just comes to play every day. They say whether it's practice or a game, Kevin Freeman all out 150%. And that's really the kind of player, Jim Calhoun absolutely loves. But I got to tell you, Dave White's club has really played tough here tonight, and they continue to hang around in this game.
Watson in the corner. Working on Mooring inside to Welch. He's got the body size. He goes back to Johnson. It's deflected out of bounds. Another look at the Big East. It's 54-18 in the second half.
Wow.
That's scary.
That's very surprising. But Eric Barkley, Bootsy, Thornton, and all for St. John's obviously getting it done against Pitt, who has been playing some pretty good basketball.
You want details? It's ESPN.com, part of the Go Network. Go.com. Miss outside and a foul. There have been many of them. There's Coach Bike. 22 years at the helm of his alma mater. It's only the second coach they've ever had at Sacred Heart. He was an assistant under the other coach, Jay Donald Freely, who was the first head coach, and he was an assistant.
Well, he's done a very nice job. He's got a terrific record over the years, and people that have followed the Sacred Heart program just have to give them some time to adjust to Division I play. And there's his son Keith, who is an outstanding player at Hartford. Keith had a great game-winning shot. A game I did 2 years ago, John, against Drexel in a great double overtime game. So nice that he can coach alongside his dad.
See a lot of that. The Jarvises at St. John's. Speaking of the Red Storm, 7 points for Colin Watson now as he hits 2 of his 3.
Sacred Heart stays man-to-man. A little bit of a lull here in the crowd, and we're kind of sitting back in their chairs right now waiting for something exciting to happen at the UConn, well, offensive or it could be defensive end if they get the rejection.
Playing without Elamine right now. Khaled is on the bench. This is Robertson to Saunders. Juan down low against Welsh. Goes to Mooring. Short jumper good. He rattles it home at 15 points now for Albert Mooring.
It's a great pass right there by Suleiman Juan. I love it when big man will dish it out if they're covered inside. And another trait of this UConn team, very unselfish. They find the open man.
Well, that's one way to get through a screen. Reese hit the deck as Suleiman Juan went out to pick up Welch.
Now, someone's in my way. I think I might just mow him over.
He can do it. Here comes Kovalukas to the left hand, an air ball. Rebounded by Saunders. Back comes Robertson, the freshman. Getting a lot of minutes. Elamine back to the scorer's table to check back in the lineup as a turnover. It's going to bring Ajo Deng and Khaled Elamine back as Saunders and Mooring go to the bench.
It's a look right here by Juan. He's covered by Welch. That's just a nice shovel pass. He keeps his man Welch behind him. And that's just another pretty easy basket there by Morey as he fills the open jumper.
Huskies averaging 14.5 turnovers a game, and with over 12.5 remaining here, they've already turned it over a dozen times.
Few of them have been careless. They've just thrown the ball away, kind of unforced errors. But credit Sacred Heart's defense as well.
That foul is called, setting the pick, and picking up foul number 2 is Colin Watson out of Champlain Junior College.
Sacred Heart foul number 4, Colin Watson. His second personal foul.
So Robertson, the freshman, will bring it up. This is one of those situations now where they will put Khalid El-Amin will run that baseline and try to work his way into a shooting position. Freeman backs away, dumps it inside. Juan has it knocked away. Back comes Johnson. Kovalukas in the corner, back to Johnson. Skip it all the way over to Reese.
Lofting pass.
Yeah.
It took a while to get there.
Reese with penetration to Johnson. Spins, shoots, rattles out. Rebound to Freeman. Kevin starts back. Finds El-Amin. Oh, what a move by El-Amin. He's got 8 points, 6 in the second half.
Well, he kept waiting to see if the defense would close in on him. It didn't, and he finally just took it all the way in. But again, as the point guard, look to penetrate and then read it, and he's a master at doing just that.
18-point lead, El-Amin. He was ready to pass, Ronnie, if need be. And he said, okay, fine, I'll just lay it in there.
The C opened up, and he took it right in there with the one hand. Nice job. UConn stays man-to-man.
Kovalukas. Back to Watson for 3. That's short. Rebound by El-Amin. Huskies looking for a 20-point lead. This is a 3, and it's good. They'll get a 21-point lead. El-Amin with 11. Khalid El-Amin hits the 3, and just like that, it is a 21-point lead for the Huskies of Connecticut. Now remember, the timeouts as called after the first one are all 30-second timeouts, so we'll stay. And El-Amin starting to put on a show right now.
But I think what he shows you here with, these last couple of possessions with the drive and, the finish, check it out, just goes right around Welch on that one, who doesn't know, hey, is he going to pass? Is he going to shoot? And now with his great penetrating ability to play off him a little, he drains the 3. Very unselfish. He can score points at will, as you can see right here, but he's the floor general. He makes people go out there for UConn.
And he makes people go not only in the games, he makes them go in practice. He is the man right now for Connecticut. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, I mean, to have a great championship caliber team, you need to have that go-to guy, the leader, and there's no question about it. It's Khalid El-Amin on the UConn Husky club.
10:59 to play. The Huskies looking for their 10th win in a row. On a 9-2 run right now.
Checking in for Connecticut, number 55.
This is a team that has won 28 or more games 5 of the last 6 years.
That's some pretty consistent winning right there with those numbers.
The Huskies 34-2 last year.
All the way, it's a year to remember. 1998-99 for UConn, the national champs.
Reese gets inside and scores. Good quick move by Reese. He's got 10.
Reese has played a very solid floor game tonight for Sacred Heart.
At the other end, it's Robertson with his 7th point of the night. Tony Robertson.
He's shown some nice penetrating ability as well. And he's also shown you why Jim Calhoun and Dave Lato right now are going with him as either the 1 or the 2 guard. He really can play either position effectively.
Johnson gets along the lane and hits the fadeaway. That's a dozen now for Devin Johnson.
He's athletic. He's quick. Oh, nice move.
And high off the glass. No good. Tipped up. No good. Watson brings it out of there for Sacred Heart to Reese. They've got numbers, 3-on-2 at this end. And Johnson with a quick shot. A little too strong that time. Here comes El-Amin right in the middle. Tried to go to the wing, saved by Kovalukas. Back to Watson, and now Reese is going to reset with 9:36 to go in the game.
Not a bad idea by Reese, but he's also, I think, a little tired right there and saying, hey, I don't know if I can push this thing up the floor again.
Hold it a minute. Let me catch my breath. Almost stolen. And a timeout quickly called.
Nice job.
Johnson called the timeout. He knew he was going to step out of bounds, so right near midcourt, he got the timeout. His team now Huskies have 4 and the Pioneers have 2. We mentioned the bench scoring. It was all UConn, 20-0 in the first half, and here are some of the bench numbers being produced by the Huskies tonight.
Great balance when you see Saunders and Robertson, the freshman, Juan, Wren, another freshman. So, you know, the thing about UConn is, as you see Saunders right there, is they get balance, they get the scoring from a lot of different places. And first half in this game, a great indication where Elameen's got 2 points, but there's all of a sudden Mooring, who's got 13. So it's a tough team to defend because they've got players, a lot of players that can get it done.
9 players have scored for Connecticut. Only 5, just the starters, have scored for the Pioneers. Sacred Heart will inbound. 9:20 to go. I'm John Sanders along with Ron Perry. Happy New Year to all of you from Hartford. Surprisingly warm here in the Northeast. Huh?
I'll tell you, for this time of year, it's unbelievable.
Welch falls down. Deng comes back. They've got numbers. Voskuhl in the middle. And Deng got it back. Can he hang on? Yes.
It wasn't pretty, but he got the finish.
Ajo Deng bounced it all over the place and finally put it in the hole.
He's agile. He's able to stay with it, though, and get the finish.
Back to that 21-point advantage. Watson to the baseline. Voskuhl the block.
That's where it helps to have the big man in the middle. Put the pressure on. He'll help you out on the penetration.
Here comes Voskuhl down the lane, and he will go to the line as he hits the deck. Welch put him on the deck. That's the second foul on Tim. And Voskuhl's been terrific at the line so far this year. 20 out of 23, but Jake has never been a big scorer.
Well, he's really more of a defensive player. He likes to go in as he does there and just say, hey, I'm not going to allow you to get any easy buckets. And that's one of the things about UConn, too. Great perimeter pressure. They know that if they get beat, if there's penetration, they're going to get help behind.
And he continues his outstanding free throw shooting.
Checking in for Sacred Heart, number 25, Mendongas Ladika.
Ladika checks back in. Welch with his 2 fouls. Voskuhl, one of the leaders all time in block shots. Of course, the head of the pack, pretty good jumper, Danielle Marshall.
He's in some good company there.
Travis Knight was a terrific player. You know, they've always had like 3 men that they rotate through the middle. Voskuhl gets 2. He's in double figures with 10 tonight. It's 69-46. Biggest lead of the night. You're with us watching Big East basketball on ESPN+.
I mean, Iowa are a good club, but you lose that game and it refocuses your attention. And it certainly has done that for UConn, reeling off 9 victories in a row.
He's set to go to work. This is the 3rd of 9 games they will play here in Hartford this year. Reese, all he can do is throw it back, and that's going to be over and back.
That's an unforced error. Reese did a pretty good job just to get to that ball. But for Sacred Heart, you've got to get good shot opportunities each time down the floor, not just give the ball up.
And right in front of our broadcast position, the freshman Doug Wren. Turnovers are even at 14 apiece as Wren inbounds to Cox. Marcus, another of the Frosh. That's a first step travel on Albert Mooring. Mooring with 15 points to lead the scoring tonight for Connecticut. Dave Leto taking over as the coach as Jim Calhoun is in the locker room with some stomach problems. Winding down to 8 minutes left in the game tonight. When you look at Sacred Heart, Ronnie, they've obviously been outmanned. They don't have the depth of the bench that UConn does, but they have never quit out there.
They've been battling from the start in this game, John. They've been hanging tough. Lucas, one of the key guys.
Missed a 3 underneath. The putback is good by Watson. He's got 9. Colin Watson with 9.
Well, Watson, very athletic. Johnson has done a nice job. Lucas, so they've been solid in recent point.
Voskuhl inside. Jake with a dozen. You know, it's amazing to me. The guy is 6'10", and he's never scored 20 points in a game ever at any level.
Well, you know, the points sometimes can be overrated. He's a guy that you would think at some point it would just happen. But he doesn't look for the offense that much. He can score, though. He's a good, effective player at the low post.
He's been very solid for the Huskies.
He really has, especially on D. Oh, nice up fake.
Ladika, that's a 2. And those are the first bench points tonight. Ladika gets the basket. Tapped out of bounds, and it'll go back the other way. So Sacred Heart will get it back again. We have a timeout. 6:52 to go. The Huskies comfortably in front as they look for their 10th win of the season. Voskuhl doing his part at 71-50. Lucas and Johnson have done a lot of the scoring, but Connecticut came into the game, Ronnie, averaging over 6 blocks a game, and they've done nothing to bring that down tonight.
No, that's right. It's a tough statistic to keep going, but UConn, excuse me, does a great job inside. They continue to get hands on basketball. They've really discouraged Sacred Heart, too, from even penetrating to the goal in this game, committing very few fouls.
Ladicka outside. Now Reese gets it back to him. One thing they haven't done for Kovalukas is getting many touches here in the second half.
Yeah, they really haven't. I mean, he's also been defended pretty well by Mr. Kevin Freeman out there.
That'll do it. Comes Reese against Elamine. Long three-pointer by Mike Sandy, no good. And back comes Khaled Elamine, 71-50. Elamine spots for three, comes up short. Voskuhl got a hand on it and tying up along the baseline were Watson and Sandy, so it'll be Huskies basketball. We are in the Civic Center on a beautiful warm night here in Hartford, Connecticut. For the Huskies and the Pioneers, I'm John Sanders along with Ron Perry. Happy New Year to all of you. And Kovalukas kind of limping off the court now. That's not good news for the Pioneers.
It really isn't. I mean, he's a key performer. He's been logging some serious minutes out there for Sacred Heart.
Mooring short. Ladicka the rebound. Saunders got it back. Here's Freeman to Elamine, and Elamine is fouled by Watson. He's the first player with 3 fouls tonight. You look at the Huskies, they've committed only 3 team fouls the entire game. We played 34 minutes.
That's the incredible thing. And, you know, there's two things there. One is UConn has played solid defense tonight. Perhaps not the in-your-face D they sometimes do. You can see the foot over there with Kovalukas. They're checking him right out. Looks like, I don't know, they're icing sort of the foot, his left foot, as opposed to the ankle area. Usually the limp like that is an ankle roll. Seems to be more on top of the foot.
A dozen now for Elamine, and they'll keep that ice on there in the hopes that they can get him back on the court. A chance now to stretch it back to 23, which would match the biggest lead tonight for the number 2 ranked Huskies. Elamine now 23 out of 28 at the free throw line. You would think he would have gone to the line more than that, wouldn't you, as much as he handles the ball?
Yeah, and he penetrates a lot, but he's often dishing the ball, I think, before contact's actually made. He's gotten rid of it at that point.
And it's probably in the basket someplace by the time he gets a bump.
By him or one of his teammates, and the pressure, even with Voskuhl, you see UConn's big men. They'll come out and get you on the perimeter as well.
Three-pointer from the corner, too strong. Rebound on the weak side, pulled out of there by Edmund Saunders. Didn't start the first half tonight, did start the second half. Jim Calhoun continues in the locker room. Dave Leto running the team right now for the Huskies.
They just had some stomach problems, and Dave Leto has pretty much run the show here this entire second half.
And we've had no further update on his condition. Underneath, well done that time as Saunders on a good feed from Kevin Freeman.
As UConn continues to pull away in this game with just the overall depth and inside strength, they've got the big advantage in there. Sacred Heart's pretty much, John, they had to go to the outside jump here in the second half. They haven't penetrated too much. There's one. And
Voskuhl will pick up the foul, I think, from behind. There were a couple of Huskies surrounding Johnson as he got into the lane.
Well, that's what we talked about with the penetration. And when you're smaller, it's difficult to get in there. You'll have some shots blocked, but you've got to go in and penetrate and then open some things up in the perimeter and get yourself to the line a few times.
Number 2 on Voskuhl.
And the line for Sacred Heart, Devin Johnson will shoot.
It is the 3rd team foul on the Huskies in the second half. We've had very little fouling either way, Ronnie. Especially here in the second half. Only 6 fouls combined for the 2 teams as Johnson collects his 13th point.
Number 32, Tony Robertson.
Here comes Robertson back to the lineup. Khaled Elamine goes to the bench, and Suleiman Wan will also check back in. And Voskuhl will go to the bench. Nice round of applause for 2 of the keys to the national championship season last year, and whatever hopes the Huskies have of repeating in the year 2000.
However, they're playing very good basketball, but it's critical that Elamine and Voskuhl inside, and Freeman, that you also have the luck of good health throughout the course of the season too, and not have key players go down with injuries.
There are so many things that factor into it. Here's Juan. Turnaround off by Glass and good. Good strong move by Suleiman Juan.
He's really been playing very well all year. And when you look at Voskuhl and Juan inside, they've been really contributing the triple-double down low.
Ladeka with it.
Double-double, I should say.
That's right.
Triple is pretty impressive.
And the three-pointer that time, another point off the bench, is Mike Sandy. Gets his 4th three-pointer of the season. Juan dumps it down to Saunders. Tried to go inside, had it knocked away, out of bounds, and it'll be Sacred Heart basketball. 3:57 remaining in the game. We have a timeout, and it is a comfortable 22-point margin, although a turnover here for Connecticut will give it back to Sacred Heart. We're coming back to the Hartford Civic Center. Amin right now on the bench, but he has come on strong in the second half with 11 points, including 1 three-pointer, and he has 5 rebounds to go with it, a total of 13 on the night. Another solid performance for him. Like you said, he looks for his scoring opportunities when he needs to help the team.
That's exactly right. Doesn't force it. That was a long bomb right there.
Off the glass and almost in. Freeman gets the rebound and feeds it to Morey, who is the leading scorer for the Huskies with 15. Here's Robertson, the freshman. Suleiman Juan, of course, Freeman out there right now. And Freeman can't get to it. Another turnover.
Yeah, you want to make that entry pass. Robertson trying to make that from the top. You've got to get yourself over the wing more to get a better angle to drop it inside.
77-52. The Huskies have never trailed tonight. They've shot the threes pretty well. Haven't shot a lot of them. Sandy goes to the baseline. Back to Ladika. And now outside in front, the quarterback of this offense, Kurt Reese, who has a couple of threes himself this evening.
He's done a pretty good job out there running the show. He really does a pretty good job to get that ball around to open people. Just not much penetration for Sacred Heart in this game. They're having a tough time getting it in. There's an opportunity.
And Juan bats it away.
Oh, what help out.
7th block tonight for the Huskies of Connecticut. Long skip to Mooring. He steps out of bounds. Another turnover at the 2:40 mark, and a couple more substitute. Cox will check in, and back is Ajo Deng as well, number 4.
Robertson got careless with that pass that last time. It looked like an opening inside for Johnson, but how about the help out from behind, huh?
He never saw that guy, did he? Huh?
That's where you're like, oh, finally, I got some clear sailing here, and boom, forget about it.
That's right. Suleiman Juan with a terrific block as he came from behind and just swatted away.
It's pursuit defense.
Penetration by Ladika that time. Back comes Cox. And he is bumped and fouled. The foul will go on Kurt Reese. Picks up his 3rd. Let's take a look now at our best play of the game. It is our Advanced Auto Parts best play of the game, and the best part is our people. This was a terrific play.
It really was. The underhand alley-oop, Elamine to Freeman. And just forget about it. It seems like every game Elamine finds a way to get one of those plays going, and the crowd loved it, and so did Freeman with the finish.
Asking before the game if there was anyone he wanted us to say hi to specifically back in Minnesota, which he does from time to time. He said, no, just say hi to everybody.
General, hello.
Here comes Juan down the lane and lays it off the glass too strong. It would not roll, but a good move. Deng there to pick up the garbage and roll it home.
Well, a couple of guys down.
Yes.
Hopefully they're okay. They collided, just hustling. And you said it before, John, this Sacred Heart team has been going 110% from the beginning of this game.
Reese, one of them that went down, he gets up, or he does not get up yet. Mike Sandy, who banged heads with him, does get up, but Reese is still down.
Going for it underneath.
Whoa.
Jeez. Heads just come right together, and
that's an instant headache right there.
He's okay. He took it right, and it looked like in the forehead, above the nose, bridge of the nose, maybe. Boy, he's played hard tonight too. Reese has done a nice job at point. You know, his all-out hustle under the basket.
The Pioneers from Sacred Heart out of Fairfield, Connecticut. There's still taking a long look at the junior from Hartford, Kurt Reese. What a way to move from Division II to Division I, and to play last week St. John's from the Big East, and this week the #2 team in the country.
No, this is they're playing some major teams early with St. John's, and there's Reese. He looks over at his teammate and probably says to him, "You know something? You got a pretty hard head." Fortunately, he's got the smile on his face, and there's Dave Bike. Anytime there's any kind of injury to the head, a lot of precaution taken. He walks off there. He seems to be okay. Hard-nosed player.
So now it'll be Colin Watson will inbound to Devlin Johnson. Now Watson. Mike Sandy back to Johnson. Inside 2 minutes left, and there's a first step travel called on Colin Watson. He was in a little bit of a hurry to get into his offensive mode. Top 25 ESPN USA Today. You can see that Stanford still undefeated. They'll probably stay #1 until they lose. Cincinnati, Arizona, Auburn. Syracuse is not lost. The Orange Men. Let's see how they do. We get into Big East play, and he turns it over as Deng palmed that one off the bench now. Justin Brown, the 7-footer, a redshirt freshman from Australia, on the court for the first time tonight. They can rotate some big bodies through that lineup.
They really can. And, with Voskuhl and Wong playing as well as they are, Dave Lato giving Brown a chance to get a couple of minutes here.
Bo Archibald is set to check in. Archibald, who's had all kinds of physical problems with some knee surgeries.
Yep.
He's at the scorer's table. Final minute and 15 seconds.
Nice look inside. Just the inside's really been sealed off in this one.
Ledecker's shot is partially blocked, and Deng cracks it down. Ajo Deng to Cox. Along the baseline, Wren went up and had it batted out of bounds that time by Colin Watson. So with less than a minute to go, there is Bo Archibald. Started collegiately at Utah Valley, where he had some knee problems and transferred to Connecticut. There is Tony Robertson, the job that he did tonight in scoring 7 points, a little below his season average and a little off the numbers that he had been showing in the last 4 or 5 ball games.
Just sort of sitting somewhat behind and to the left that time, or right on your screen, of Edmund Saunders. Yeah, Robertson again, he got some quality minutes, and to see Cox out there, Brown, Wren, the freshman, getting some quality minutes again here tonight against Sacred Heart.
We're in the final minute. They want Brown to shoot. The 7-footer is fouled.
Good credit to Sacred Heart, though. They've really played tough, hard, gritty basketball here tonight to keep themselves in this ball game, and certainly have been undermanned inside. And Dave Bike's club can certainly head out of here and say, hey, we're 1-8, but they played very tough tonight, and I can see them winning some ball games for sure in their conference.
The Northeast Conference. And here is Brown, 1 for 3 at the free throw line so far this season.
Nice touch.
And they love it when somebody off the bench who doesn't play much scores, and so does his teammate inside, Jake Voskuhl. Cox leave, and Watson now has checked in for the Huskies. A pair at the line for Justin Brown. Rhett Watson from Wichita, Kansas. From my neck of the woods, Ronnie.
It's right. Huh?
Foul inside.
Midwest action going here.
Less than 25 seconds to go in the game. Foul goes on Doug Wren. Excuse me, Bo Archibald.
This looks like a UConn team, John, that could, be awfully effective again this year. They're ranked up very high right now. They're going to be, very tough in conference play again, and they've got the depth, the experience, and certainly the sort of that key guy, if you will, in Elamine to go a long way again this year.
They really do, but back-to-back Big East regular season and postseason titles. The job they have done. 1 out of 2 for Mike Sandy. He has 4 points tonight, all in the second half. It's 81-56. Here's Wren. Wren with a nice jump stop and basket.
Another good-looking young player as this game winds down.
went to St. Thomas Prep out of Seattle, Washington. So many of these players now, a lot of them go to a year of prep school. Some 2 years of prep school. That's going to do it. 83-56 will be the final. So Connecticut with its biggest lead of the night. Dave Leto, who took over in the second half, shake hands with Dave Bike as Jim Calhoun ran into some stomach problems, some physical problems, did not coach the second half. But the Huskies still roll to their 10th win in a row, winning it by a final of 83-56. You got very balanced scoring again tonight. Albert Mooring had 15 points. Khalid El-Amin, who woke up in the second half after just 2 in the first half, finishes with 13. Jake Voskel had a dozen. Edmund Saunders had 10. So very balanced scoring. 9 different players getting on the board tonight for the Huskies. For Sacred Heart, the Pioneers, who are 1-8, led by Johnson's 14. Kovalukas had 13 tonight, and Kurt Reese, who banged heads right there at the end with Mike Sandley, wound up in double figures himself with 10. But it is an 83-56 victory. UConn over Sacred Heart. We'll come back with more from Hartford, Connecticut. We'll visit with the winners after this. Did not trail tonight. They take care of business, beating the Pioneers of Sacred Heart by 27 points. And one of the engineers, one of the leaders of the victory for the Huskies, standing by with our own Ron Perry, is Khalid El-Amin. Ronnie?
Well, Khalid, once again, the Huskies continue to roll. You've reeled off 10 victories in a row. You know, a team tonight that, let's face it, you knew when you came out here, this is a team you could handle. But once again, I thought you got great balance and people involved in this game.
And that's exactly what we need if we want to be successful in the Big East and in the national championship. I think our play is starting to be more consistent, meaning a lot of more players are scoring and producing, and that's all we need if we're going to be good.
Well, you just came off a win on the road against Houston. You win at home against Sacred Heart. Now you've got some Big East play with Notre Dame starting on Wednesday night. You've got Pitt on Saturday night. Here we go. Big East time.
Yeah, it's starting to be a real game-for-game season. We need everyone to count, and now we're getting in the heart of the season. So now we have to be ready to play hard and play together, and I think things will take care of themselves.
Khalid, a lot of guys are getting into the act, and obviously in conference play you're going to need balance and depth, and all those things seem to be coming into play right now with the freshmen contributing, the big guys getting the job done inside, and of course you running things from the outside.
And that's what we wanted to do coming into the season. We want to just really hit our peak right in conference play, and that's what we're starting to do, and I see nothing but big things for this team.
And when we talk, you talk about, you know, goals down the end of the season too. You talk about Big East play and then going all the way, and that's the way you think.
We have nothing but high expectations for this team. This team knows it can be good, but as long as we get better by each practice and each game, I think things will just take care of themselves.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. Another great job tonight, and best of luck as you continue in Big East play and then on down the road.
Thank you.
All right, Khalid. Another nice job by Khalid El-Amin leading the attack for UConn. Back to you, John.
All right, Ronnie, thank you very much. We're going to visit with another guy who had a big night in this ball game tonight. When we come back, we will continue from Hartford. The Huskies get win number 10 in a row in the books tonight. Stay with us. We are coming back. 3:56 is the final. Another player who had a strong performance tonight was Albert Mooring, who's standing by with Ronnie.
Well, Albert, there are some nights where that ball just seems to drop well from the outside, and tonight was one of those for you. The three-pointer, the two-pointer, you were open, you had the stroke. Did you know it right from the get-go when you stepped on the court tonight?
Yeah, I pretty much knew from the get-go because I had a great warm-up. You know, my shots were falling in the warm-up, and I knew in the game it was going to fall for me.
And what are you thinking, Albert, when you come into these games? You're obviously out there. Are you thinking, you know, I'm going to look for my jump shot, I'm just going to let it come to me, or what exactly is going through your mind? I'm going to play tough defense and let the game come to me?
Yeah, that's why, you know, coach stress defense. You know, I like to play defense, you know, to get my offense going. And that's what I like to, that's what I did tonight.
Well, I talked to Khalid moments ago about the balance your team is getting, and it always seems it's keyed off the defense, but you're getting great contributions inside from your big people, Voskel and Suleiman Wan, again, very strong, and Kevin Freeman inside, and Edmund Saunders. A lot of people getting into the act.
Yeah, we got great team chemistry. I think this is the best all-around team Connecticut had in a while, and I think we're going to be great this year.
Well, no question about it. With you popping away from the outside, that can only help. I wish you the best of luck in Big East play, starting with Notre Dame on Wednesday.
All right, thanks a lot.
All right. Albert Mooring, another strong game shooting the ball from the perimeter for UConn. John, back to you.
All right, Ronnie, thank you very much. Albert had 3 3-pointers in this game tonight. As you saw, he had 4 out of 7. The Huskies, no problem really with the Pioneers of Sacred Heart. We'll come back to wrap things up after this. We're expected to win, and the Huskies did just that tonight. 83-56 was the final score. Welcome back once again. I'm John Sanders along with Ron Perry, and you saw the interview that he had with Albert Mooring, who got his team off and running offensively tonight. Khalid El-Amin did not have a terrific first half offensively. Of course, he didn't take that many shots either in the first half. But you brought up the point about a shooter, as Mooring is. You were one yourself. He said he had the feel in warm-up. I don't know about that.
I asked him that. He said he came out, and yeah, there are some nights where even in warm-ups, the touch is there, you feel good. Sometimes that carries through to the game, John, which it did for Albert tonight. He could feel it. It was there. There are other nights where you'd come out and the first couple don't go in and you say, hey, wait a minute, I thought this thing felt right tonight. But it was there. He did the job, and he's quietly effective for this team. And El Amin just really takes charge, and he's a special player.
Well, they have so many different weapons. A total of 9 different players scored. The freshman came off the bench and played very well. Here are some final stats. You see they shot 57% from the game and got that terrific bench play tonight.
Now, the shooting was outstanding. Anytime you shoot like that, again, they hold an opponent to 34% shooting. They dominated the backboards. You know, second chance points and bench points. This is a team with great depth, inside strength, and once again, UConn put it together. And the thing that impresses me, John, it doesn't matter who they're playing. If it's a top 10 team or a team that they should win, they're playing at a high level. A lot of players getting into the act, and that's what you need to be successful at the major college level, which they're at.
Came into tonight averaging 83 points a game. So what did they do? They scored 83 points tonight. But the schedule is going to change. Even though they played a tough non-conference schedule, you look ahead, coming up here on Wednesday night, it'll be Notre Dame, then a trip to Pittsburgh to take on the Panthers before Rick Barnes, and Texas, another tough non-conference game. They've also got Michigan State in February. So with the mix of the Big East and the non-conference games, it's still a tough schedule coming up for the Huskies.
It's a very difficult stretch coming up, and all of a sudden, you know, you're in that Big East Conference play. Notre Dame starting right off and then going to Pittsburgh, where they've had some very tough battles. And then what do? You come home and you play Texas. So in a week, they will have played 4 games, and they're going to have to really step it up. But again, I think they're ready with the way they've been playing, the players that have been getting into the act, and they just got to keep Jim Calhoun out there for the full game now.
Yes, that's right. Jim Calhoun was not on for the second half. Dave Leto took over the coaching role. Jim had some stomach problems, but no problems for the Huskies tonight. They win it going away with ease tonight over the Pioneers of Sacred Heart. They fall to 1-8 on the season. The Huskies of UConn win their 10th in a row. They are 10-1 with Notre Dame coming to town on Wednesday. For Ron Perry, I'm John Sanders. Thanks for being with us. Happy New Year from Hartford. The final again. The Huskies win it 83-56 over Sacred Heart.